Midland really fosters entrepreneurship, and it's not necessarily from a business perspective that they're teaching you how to go start a company, but they teach you to be independent and to be proactive. So that could be leading hiking trips, it could be a construction project, it could be getting involved in the organic farm, it could be working with the solar system that they now have on campus. So after I graduated from Midland, I attended UC Berkeley, and I wandered into a class on sustainable energy. And I really got hooked on renewable energy as sort of a really good combination of three facets of things I liked. One was technical challenge, two was the international nature of renewable energy. You know, it's needed everywhere, you can do it everywhere. And third was the sort of the greenness, the environmental friendliness of that technology. And within that, I particularly was interested in wind power.
Is there anything else you wanted to cover?
So one of the things that we're most caring about right now is the preparation of our renewal workshop that we are going to...
I decided to go to graduate school, where I attended MIT, again studying engineering. But I did find a class my second year called Entrepreneurship in the Developing World. And that gave me the opportunity to sort of hone the concept of what was to become Blue Energy. So before I went to Midland, I grew up in Eugene, Oregon, where my mother was a professor at the University of Oregon in the linguistics department, specializing in the indigenous languages of the Americas. And one of her core specialties is with an indigenous group here in Nicaragua on the Caribbean coast called the Rama people. So when we were young, we got the opportunity to come down here several times and sort of establish a connection here with Nicaraguans and with the Rama in particular. They don't have electricity, they don't have roads, they don't have clean water. They don't have finance services, and in that context, it's very hard to get something started when you don't have all those support services around you. So the original Blue Energy business model at the beginning was to build small wind turbines locally here in Nicaragua that we could use to power ultraviolet water purification systems. So the original concept wasn't even actually electrification, it was clean energy for clean water. And we started with a staff of 2 people, and from there to today we've grown to a staff of 42 people around the world, most of them here in Nicaragua, 35 people here in Bluefields, 2 people in Managua, and we have a couple people working in San Francisco full-time and a couple people in Paris. So within Bluefields, we have a few different facilities. The main one is Casa Blue Energy, where the international volunteers live, where we have our administrative offices and also kitchen facilities. We also have a few other houses in the neighborhood that house more international volunteers. And just a short walk down the road, about a 10-minute walk down the road, you have where all of our production facilities are and our research takes place. One of the central themes of Blue Energy is the local production of our wind turbines here in Nicaragua at our production facility on the Inatec campus. And the reason that we do produce these locally versus importing wind turbines from China to the United States is because we're trying to build the local capacity in this region for renewable energy. And that means being able to produce, being able to operate, being able to maintain these systems beyond installation. And the philosophy is if they're able to build it, they're able to fix it. So you have the body of the wind turbine out of metal, you have the alternator mounted on top of that, and then you have the wood blades that are mounted on top of that, and then there's a tuning process to balance the machine, and then it's ready for testing. One wing of this building houses our research center, where we have 15 workstations, where a lot of our international staff do research on energy issues, water issues, community issues. This is the community of Monkey Point, a town of about 300 people, south of Bluefields, about 60 kilometers. It's a very isolated community. There are no roads coming to it, so you have to come by boat. It's anywhere between a 2 and 6 hour boat ride, depending on what size engine you have, from Bluefields. You're physically isolated, it's a multicultural environment, there's tremendous economic poverty. Because of my childhood experiences, we knew coming in that it wasn't just about the technology. We knew that we had to address the social dimensions of our work. It's about working with the communities to understand what they value, what they prioritize. Is electricity important to them? And furthermore, electricity in of itself is not a benefit to people. You don't consume electricity as a human being, you consume light, which needs electricity, for example. So you have to take a holistic approach to how you work with these communities so that you can, yes, focus on certain activities like blueEnergy focuses on energy and water, for example, but you have to also help facilitate the creation of these other services so that it all works together. So what we have is our wind turbine and a solar array up on the hill that sends electricity down the hill to this house where they've built a charging station where people bring their batteries, and the operators who live here in the house, Lillian and Cow, take the batteries, plug them into the charge controller, and people pay a fee to charge their battery that goes into the community energy fund. And then when the battery is charged, the owner takes it back and takes it back to their home, where they plug it into their home electrification system, where it connects to the wiring and the lights and the switches in their own home. One of the hallmarks of poor communities is the absence of any sort of sanitation system, a sewage system, which means that all the human waste and other surface contaminants get into the groundwater and the surface water, such as streams, making it impossible to access clean water. So the mechanism for filtration within the filter is 3 different levels of granularity of sand. And there's 2 mechanisms for filtration. The first one is mechanical. Certain debris will just get caught by the sand. And the second and more important one is that about 5 centimeters down on the filter is a biological layer that forms and kills a lot of the bacteria as it passes through. It's about 99% effective in killing bacteria. So it's a bit ironic for an engineer to be saying this, but I think for me, it just feels right. So doing this work feels natural to me. I work very long hours and I work hard at it, but it doesn't feel hard like I'm swimming against the current. It feels like a good combination of my social interests with my technical skills. However, yeah, my role has shifted over time. I thought I was going to be building wind turbines, that's why I wanted to start the organization. But after a period of time, I was no longer working in the shop, moved more into administration. Now I'm more in a leadership fundraising role. And I think that's just a natural evolution.
Yo. Hello. So where do you want to start?
But I truly internally believe in what blueEnergy is doing, and I can sense the impact. What are the minimum conditions for a happy, productive life? That's the Paul Squibb question, and it's the philosophical question that underpins everything we do at blueEnergy.
Fatigue and stress that make our lives painful